Hi, Mrs. Mack is here again. Now we are going to work on 1.3.3 Constraining a Sketch Part 2. So again, we're going to start off making sure the view cube is oriented properly, top, front, right, just like it is, Y, Z, X. We are going to make sure our document settings are set to millimeters. Okay. And then we're going to go on up to our data panel, make sure we are in our IED Designs Unit 1 project folder. Okay. And when you're in there, you should somewhere see your constraints part 1. Okay, so now I'm going to go up to File. We're going to go to Save. And here we're going to call this 1.3.3 Constraints. Make sure I'm spelling correctly. Part 2. Make sure it's being saved to IED Designs Unit 1 and click Save. Alrighty. So this time what we're going to do is create a 10-sided concave polygon. So last time we did a convex polygon. This time we're going to do a concave polygon. Okay, so we're going to start off, and it's going to be 10 sides. Last time it was 8. This time it's going to be 10. So we're going to start off with Create Sketch. We're going to use our XZ plane again. Again, we are only going to use our line tool. You want to make sure your sketch palette is set correctly. So again, everything except Slice and 3D Sketch should be checked. Okay. Once you make sure that's all good, we are once again going to start on our axis, and we're going to cross over our origin point. Now, just like with part 1, your polygon does not need to match mine exactly, but it should have the same basic shape to it. Okay, so I'm going to just start over here. Again, we're not putting dimensions in. There's nothing that has to be perfect on this, just as long as it's the same basic shape. I'm going to click. I'm going to drag across a bit. Click again. I'm going to go up just a little. Remember, I'm doing 10 sides. So this was line 1. This is line 2. Oops, I'm losing my place. Line 2. Now I'm going to do line 3. Line 4. I'm going to go up this way a little bit. Line 5. 6. Do 7, bring 7 down here, and do 8, and 9, and then 10. And again, when you get that blue profile, you're going to right click and click OK. So now we have a 10-sided polygon. So this is side 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, first thing we want to do, we want to look at those constraints that were automatically applied again, just like we did on part 1. Bring this down and zoom a little bit here so I can see it better. And it looks like on this one, I have all perpendicular constraints. Notice this perpendicular constraint coincides with this one. So that means this line here will always stay perpendicular to this line. So if I drag this, you'll notice it will always stay perpendicular no matter what I do. Even if I drag the point here, it's always going to stay perpendicular. Okay, this one here looks like it coincides with this one. Okay, so whenever I do that, and then I have that. So they have different perpendicular constraints here. So I want you to kind of play around with it a little bit and see what happens when you move things around. Notice that they stay perpendicular, just like they're supposed to do. So no matter what you do, it stays perpendicular. And once you've played around with it a little bit, we need to go ahead and back out of it till we get back to our original shape. I think. Oh, one too far. There we go. Now I'm back to my original shape. Well, what I want you to do now is you're going to need to pause the video. in your notebook, I want you to create a new page in your notebook. I want you to call this Constraining a Sketch. And then I want you to draw this sketch in the best you can. Remember, there's no dimensions. Just want to keep the same basic shape. Use a protractor or a ruler to help you keep your lines straight. And I want you to draw in the different constraints that are on yours. Your constraints may be a little bit different than mine. Remember, your shape does not need to match mine exactly. So your constraints may be different. So what I want you to do is I also want you, when you draw this in, I want you to connect the constraints that go together, like this one and this one go together. So you would draw a circle around it and then draw a line connecting these two constraints. Okay, this one and this one go together. So you would draw a circle around it and draw a line. If they don't have one that it matches up with, it's just a perpendicular, that's fine, just leave it like it is. But if it has a match, draw a circle and draw a line connecting it to its match. Again, pause the video, draw out the shape, use a ruler or a protractor. They are located in the student resource, one of the drawers in the student resource area on the island, or in the island, and then draw this out, mark your constraints, and then come on back and unpause so we can continue. Okay, hopefully you paused, you drew, you labeled. Now what we want to do is we're going to go up and do finish sketch. Actually, before we do finish sketch, I want to make sure you remember how to take the constraints off. So we're going to take all of the constraints off. So remember, left click, right click, delete. Left click, right click, delete. You're going to do that for all of the constraints you have. You may have more than me, you may have less than me. All of your constraints. Okay, I got one more up here. Once all of the constraints are gone, we're going to hit Finish Sketch. We're going to go on up to Extrude. We're going to extrude this shape again, 5 millimeters, and click OK. And when we rotate it, you'll see that it did extrude. So this is the final object that you are going to go ahead and submit in Canvas for part 2.